Welcome back to Robin's Roundup, a belated fourth episode with me, Jake Matho, Tom Langford, and finally Sean Fisher is here to join us. We apologise for the failure to produce anything last week. Someone forgot to put any audio on our video, so you would have just seen a lot of movement but without anything else. We would have been recapping on the draw with Radcliffe and the cracking win. I think you can both echo against Lancaster, but we will move on. If anyone doesn't like that, please put in the comments and we'll make a specific episode just for Lancaster.
We'll do that, yeah. We'll just go back for you.
But we will dwell more on the game that happened just gone this weekend, which was the trip to Scarborough. Neither me or Sean were there because we had jobs that we had to commit to. However, Tom, loyal as ever, was there, and for his sins maybe, had to go to see a game that panned out into defeat. Tom, take it away.
It wasn't obviously the best performance or result in the end, to be honest. You know, it was marred by one incident that we will discuss a little bit to bring you guys into conversation. But yeah, lost 3-1 in the end, but could have easily been a draw for the Robins. You know, there were plenty of positives that we can take from the performance. First half, potentially could have had 2 penalties. Looking at them both back on the highlights, it looks very soft that even our penalty, couldn't get my words out there, penalty was given in the end. But yeah, in that first half, neither side created any real opportunities. A very jaded first half. I remember saying that on commentary, where just neither side could adjust to the weather conditions. Obviously, it was very windy on Saturday. First half, Ashton had the wind against them, and the players were just struggling to kind of grasp or get a hold of what the conditions were like. They were just hitting the ball far too long and not taking enough on it, and we struggled with the wind advantage the first half. And similarly could be said for Scarborough, how they struggled with the ball holding up. There's a few times where it just got caught in the air and was just flying on the halfway line miles in the air, which it didn't help either side. And I feel the second half we started brightly for the first few minutes. Obviously then the red card that we will discuss in a minute, but even when we went down to 10, I still think we looked comfortable. Clegg organised the side well. We were very difficult to break down. The goals that Scarborough did score in the end were really good goals. I think it was the second or the third. It was like watching Man City. The way they just passed it round the edge of the box, nice little 1-2, and went through on goal. But even then, we were still creating opportunities. John Lafudu had 2 massive opportunities. One that he should have just hit first time and potentially troubled the goalkeeper. Couldn't get my words out there.
Never mind.
And then the second one just should have put it across the box. There was 2 free people in the box just for a tap in the end, but went for a shot. And Clegg spoke about in his post-match interview saying that John Lafudu had these big chances, and on another day he would have taken them or squared the ball across. He wasn't too downbeaten about the result or the performance because he saw plenty of positives from his side.
I can definitely see that because it was 1-1 at half time. You've mentioned the wind was against us in the first half.
No, we had the wind for us.
For us in the first half.
Kind of just didn't manage.
It would have been against us in the second half.
And
then the red card happened minutes in. Do you want to take us through it first hand?
So obviously me and Matt were on commentary, kind of sat quite high up at the back row of the main stand, and we had a really good view of it. It was pretty much right in front of us, and immediately we was like, not even a foul, what's the referee saw there, to be honest. And anyone listening to the commentary would have heard us pretty much going on like infuriation at the fact it was a red card. It didn't look like the referee was going to give a red card initially either, because it was only when the crowd got involved shouting red, 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 that it kind of sprung into the referee's mind. Other than that, I feel he's just gave it as a foul on their player. But if you look back at it, Thompson just wins the ball for me 100%. There's nothing about it.
Have you seen the...
I have seen it, it's a late follow-throughs and after he does get the ball. But.
No, it seemed like he did get the man afterwards with the follow through, but seeing the slow-mo which you showed me, he seems to have, his legs seemed high until he's actually finally kicked the ball, and by the time he actually connects with the man, his foot's back on the floor. So it's like a shoulder barge, and so at a push you could understand, you'd argue a yellow, but you could see them given because it's just like, that was quite a feisty tackle. But then again, it's it's a lower division league match. That is normally what you expect in those games.
100%, yeah.
So for it to have been a straight red, 47th minute, it completely changed the game.
Yeah.
And for it to have been one that you would expect, I don't know yet, but you'd expect would be overturned, considering the people look at it and see that Thompson did go for the ball, he won the ball, then he did follow through with the man, but he was not dangerous.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a sickening feeling, isn't it? Really, when you see how the match panned out afterwards.
Exactly. Known Michael Clegg for what, 6-7 weeks now, and in my first interview I did with him away at Baseford, there was quite a few refereeing errors.
Yeah.
But he was quick to point out he's not a guy who blames referees, and under previous regimes, under Jody especially, it'd always be a go-to question for me because I know he'd give me a good response. He was very, quick to have a go at referees in a lot of situations, whereas Michael is kind of a happy-go-lucky kind of character where if a decision goes against him, he knows it will come back in the next few
I remember
weeks.
saying on the first week, he was like, you make your own luck.
Did he say the same this week?
No, he was more annoyed at the fact that this decision had cost him the game, and ultimately he said because at that point it was a fair game. Both sides were kind of even, no one really having the upper hand in the game, and then for that red card it just kind of just killed any momentum we were able to sustain because we had to go on the back foot. So yeah, it was different to see him react in that way because usually he's so calm and kind of collective about his manner, but he was furious because at the end of the day it's one man who's ruined a perfectly good game.
That's when you realise how big a decision it was and how
exactly
controversial it was.
Yeah.
But moving on, well, actually, before we move on, do you just a simple question? Do you think we would have lost had we kept 11 players on the pitch?
No, I don't think we would.
Under the course of the game, as it had come about,
yeah,
it was an even match.
Very even match.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the FC United game.
Pretty much, yeah. I feel they obviously, as soon as we went down to 10, we shifted to a more defensive-minded formation, which you'd expect on us. Yeah, exactly. So second half, Almond was pretty much isolated up top. But he is the one man you'd want to be isolated up top. But I feel if we still had Liam Thompson on as well, the amount of work he's put in, like the running and stuff he's done over the past few weeks since Michael Clegg's come in, has been one of the shining lights. I think we can all agree on that point. That
in recent weeks you may not have given him your man of the match you gave Thomas, but he's definitely very underrated.
100%, and you could feel that we'd lost another engine, another workhorse in that kind of front three, and it just affects the game, didn't it? It's a shame that it's had to come down to that for us to lose the game.
Yeah, it is a shame. You're all right. Given that you were the only one there, we are going to do our little thing that we do whenever we have a large away game.
Yeah.
It is just going to be you, but cue the music. We're going to do Take Me Away.
Take me away. Take me away.
Right, because Tom was there on his own, we're just going to quickly go through it as quick as we can. Just a brief summary of the trip itself, anything you want to mention, and then finishing it off with a score out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
Take it away.
60-second review, I'm putting on the clock, a little bit of pressure. Pretty much, it's a lovely ground, arguably one of the best grounds I've been to this season.
Yeah.
Newly built, 3G surface, but got two wonderful stands opposing each other. Media facility wise, lovely little table at the back, like on a level. Very cosy though. Imagine the room we've got here at this sofa is very snug.
Cozy is in warm or cozy is in slightly claustrophobic?
Small and claustrophobic. Like the leg room on this sofa is pretty, tight. It's lucky we're friends. But pretty much Matt was sat on my knee while we were doing commentary. So
was it warm?
It was warm because of how close we were.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, fans wise, we had quite a few fans in front of us just eyeballing us for some of the stuff we were saying on commentary. We get that usually, but one man in particular I like to point out, bald man on the third row down, glasses, eyeballing me throughout the whole of the second half. He'll be watching. He's coming. He's on a man.
You didn't go and missed.
No, he didn't.
You did your job.
I don't know. He was just eyeballing the whole game.
He wasn't happy.
He was fuming.
Not a fan of
He was
Rollins.
fuming with the comments I was making on commentary. Other than that, like, it was a really long drive, and obviously the result on the way back kind of hampered the spirits. Obviously, when we went to Morpeth, it was like really good.
And you gave that one a 9 out of 10.
I gave that a 9 out of 10. I feel, you know, if we'd have lost that, it'd have been a lot lower. And because we've lost this one, I'm only going to give it a 6. But it was still a really nice away game, and it's like a shame, like, you know, none of you could be able to make it.
It's another one for you to add to foot biology, as they call it now, ground hopper.
Ground hopper, yeah.
So there's another stadium for you.
53. Checking them out.
Wow. So thanks for that.
No worries.
We'll move on. Still sticking with you though, because we did do this last week. As we do every week, we alternate with a little game to entertain you and to bring you into us and get you thinking, hopefully. This week, as we did Mysterious Ground 2 weeks ago, but in the last episode, this week we are going to do Who Am I? For those of you that haven't seen any of the previous episodes, it's a very quick game where Tom here will give us 3 facts about a specific player that has played for Ashton, whether he's left or is still playing in this season. As long as he's been in the squad this season, that is all that is relevant. He's going to provide us 3 facts. We're going to give a little guess between us, or if we contrast, we'll see. You can have a little think yourself, and Tom will reveal it towards the end of the show. So, Tom, what are your stats for this player?
Fire away.
Okay, clue number 1.
Yep.
I won Young Player of the Season for Blackpool in 2011. Clue number 1. Clue number 1. Oh, a few eyebrows raised over here. Clue number 2. I joined Ashton United in 2017 from local rivals Curzon Ashton. Okay. And clue number 3. I have as many goals as red cards this season. That's your 3rd clue. I'll run through them again. I won Young Player of the Season for Blackpool in 2011. I joined Ashton United in 2017 from local rivals Curzon Ashton. And the 3rd and final one, I have as many goals as red cards this season. So we'll start with you, Jake. Go on.
Well, I just wanted to say that the one thing that threw me at the end was the red cards and goals.
Yeah.
It could be 0.
Exactly.
It could be. It could be.
And that is very Tom.
It's it's Greg Hartley, because he's a goalkeeper, he's not scored, but he's also not been sent off. But
obviously 2017.
And Curzon Ashton, he came
Well, the
from
thing
Aberdeen,
is,
didn't he?
obviously I've only worked a season and come in tail end of last season. So know when people joined
Was it 2017 you said?
Yeah, 2017.
from Curzon Ashton.
Yep.
I know the players that have been sent off
Right.
are Wilson's been sent off once maybe, but he's
obviously-
scored so
yeah.
many. So then it's who else has scored compared to who else has been sent off. But I mean, I feel like Tom's scored a few and he's been sent off once.
You'd think he's scored more than one, hasn't he?
Well, I've seen him score
Yeah.
once. Whether he scored more than that, I can't quite remember. I can't quite recall. But as opposed to that, then there's the safest bet I've got with is just guessing that maybe it's a trick question with the last stat that he's just
you've
not
got
been
me
sent
there.
off and he's not scored.
Maybe.
So what am I going to say? You know what? I'm going to give a guess of John Pritchard.
John Pritchard, okay.
I'm going to go, I don't know when Hunt joined. I'll go with Jonathan Hunt.
Okay.
I'll go with Jonathan.
Alright, yeah, we'll have a think about it. We will come back to that towards the end of the show. As we've been speaking about Scarborough, and it's been a bit doom and gloom, it hasn't really been like that in the past few weeks. It's a bit of a bubble burster. We're going to go back to something that I think was in the first episode, a little feature, yeah. And this feature is called The Only Way Is Up. Once again, for those of you that haven't been keeping up with the specific episodes, in the first episode it was not looking as good as it looks looking back now. We haven't been on a decent run, and we have been now. However, it is a defeat, so we've provided this little feature so that we can look towards the future and look positively, because it's not the end of the world, this defeat, is it?
No, yeah.
The first thing I think is relevant to talk about is the league position.
Yeah.
Do you want to have any comments on that specifically?
So currently we're in 20th place.
Yep.
You know, we fell 2 places. We were in 18th before the game on Saturday. Fell 2 places into the weird relegation spot that we spoke about so many times. But if you look at it, from 21st to, you'd probably say Buxton in 17th, there's a point. You know, 4 teams there are all on 25 points each. It's goal difference splitting them. You look at the games in hand as well. We've got 2 games in hand on Grantham, who are below us, and 3 games in hand on Buxton, who are in 17th, who have 26 points. Then looking around who we've got to play as well in that zone, you've got Matlock and Everton, who we both still have to play as well. Everton, obviously, the game on Tuesday night that we will preview in a minute. But looking up, as this segment would suggest, you know, there is only one way that we could realistically go, as long as we kind of keep up with performances and putting in results that we have done over the past few weeks. It is that we are going to move, and it is so tight in that position that we could go to literally 17th place on Tuesday night with the correct result.
Yeah, I think you're right to border it off at Buxton, because I think Gainsborough have been on a terrific run of form recently, and then the teams above that, maybe they're just a bit out of our reach at the moment. But maybe in a few weeks we could look at it and be different minded. But right now, it's definitely possible, as we can see on our screen here. We can see there is 1 point separating 17th to 21st, and the games in hand against the likes. So we've got 4 games at home this month, haven't we? So that will help us. And just 1 win, like we said, 1 win, 1 defeat. We lost this weekend, so we dropped down 2 places. A win will take us up 2 places potentially. It is so close. I don't even think you can rule out Stafford at the moment, to be honest, because they've been playing well. As much as they're a bit out of it with the points, anything can happen.
Exactly.
But the fact that we're even mentioning Stafford, or maybe I am, maybe you two think I'm crazy, but the fact that even I would think to mention it, it just shows how unpredictable this league is, and how you have to take it 1 game at a time. And that's exactly what we have to do. Like I said, there's 4 home games. I think I would say would move us on quite nicely to looking forward to the next match, which isn't a home game, but it's against the team that are directly above us. Atherton Colliers, Tuesday night. An away visit, albeit it is a return for the likes of Clegg and a few of the players for Ashton. It's going to be an interesting match, but it's going to be a huge one, and it's one of those 6 pointers you'd potentially call it, wouldn't you?
I feel like when we play anyone down there at the moment, it is going to be a 6-pointer, and obviously you mentioned there Clegg going back, as well as quite a few players that are in the current squad, so there's going to be a lot of emotions in the game. Asked Clegg about it after the game, and he was kind of upbeat. He was really looking forward to going back. Obviously spent 5 years there, we'll go back, see a lot of familiar faces, so he'll want to get the win as well. Because it's kind of like going back to your ex, isn't it? With your new bird, and you want to win.
Going back to your ex with a new bird.
You want to win.
Interesting. That's an analogy there.
Going back to your ex with a new bird. You want to win.
You want to win. No, you want to show the club you've left.
You've moved on for better.
You've moved on for better.
Upgraded.
You've upgraded, exactly. So I'll
You'd have to, I think that's wise. One of the things to mention is the people that are potentially going to miss out. The one we know 100% is going to miss out is Ben Hardcastle. Is that a gentleman's agreement, did you say?
I believe so,
so something to do with the signing agreement with Atherton. So that's a big miss.
That is a big miss.
Then there's the likes of Hunt and Tomsit. Tomsit looks like he's going to be out. It's not. Has the red card gone through? It's going to be suspension.
I just heard on the way back on the bus that he will miss the game. Usually you have that period where the Tuesday games we can usually play. But for some reason I heard he's not playing, so
Johnny
Hunt's still going through his suspension, picking up 10 yellow cards, so he'll be a big miss as well.
Rigby played on left back because JP, who's been in really good form, he was injured. Doubts over him, but we don't know. He could play, he might not play. And then Sheridan, you mentioned, you don't know?
Sheridan tweaked his neck, Clegg said in his post-match interview when I spoke to him about it. He was pretty confident that he's going to be back for Tuesday night. They just took him off as a precautionary measure.
That would suggest then we'd have to look at players that have been rather in the fringes recently. Like Sahavan, he played at the back against Scarborough. Do you have any points on his performance on Saturday, which would go towards Tuesday?
You could tell he hadn't played for a little bit. You know,
Okay.
there was a few times where he looked just a little bit rusty, looked a little bit out of position, and kind of was still trying to figure himself out. But I feel, you know, the second half in Scarborough, he kind of composed himself, got himself back into that rhythm, and hopefully he's back to his best for Tuesday.
Same with rugby. Would you say that was
Again,
similar?
you could see that he's not played for a few weeks. Looked very, trying to find the right word to use here, maybe a little bit timid at times.
Yeah.
Especially you conceded the penalty that brought Scarborough back into the game, and he didn't really recover confidence-wise from it. You could just tell it had just knocked him a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know, hopefully he can get over that, because he is a young lad and he has shown some signs of promise.
Before we move on to the two youngsters, which are Stavros Tsitsipas, is that how you pronounce
Close
it?
enough.
Sorry.
Just call
watching
it
and you
Stavros.
Stavros and Cass.
Yeah.
Those two we'll move on to in a second. The one man that I pity for a bit is Stephen Thames. He's been on this goal drought, he just can't seem to find the back of the net.
Yeah.
You can see it's affected his confidence. He's probably going to play on Tuesday. Oh, what we'd do for him to score. What we'd do.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm sure he's like, he puts us all into the match. You can see it. It just seems like a lot of the time he is chasing a lot of lost causes, which it's a shame really, because he does seem like a really good player if he was playing.
It's almost like he needs to just get the wheels rolling, just get that one kick-start goal, get him off. I know he's obviously scored previously in the season, but it does seem like getting into the system, getting into the squad, especially as the games come thick and fast, and as we said, the injuries, the climate, it's good to have that like lengthened squad. And if you can get him going and get him scoring, Tuesday would be a good place to start.
It's almost like he feels like, it's almost like he's aware that he's out of favour as the number one striker, and he's letting it affect him, and it has affected him, because when he is given the chance, as much as it's just like little rolls coming off the bench and stuff, he's not really had the effect that we would want yet. Now, Tuesday could be a big game for him, because there's a chance. Is there a high chance, would you say, that he'd start?
100. I'm going to put it as a 100% chance.
Well, 100% he'll probably 100% he'll probably start. It's a big one for him.
Yeah.
And fingers crossed he can get something, because if he can go and score, that could just kick-start him, and it would give Clegg that dilemma that managers love to hate.
As you say, also he's got that work rate about him. When he does come on, he does chase things, even if you say they're lost causes. But it's a good way to go about things if you're in a goal drought, I think so. Anyway, he comes on with the right attitude of trying to help the team, even if he isn't getting on the end of scoring.
Yeah. JP, not sure he's going to be back, but Stavros came on for a bit of the game against Scarborough.
Yeah.
You were singing his praises.
I was singing his praises. You know, he's a lovely guy off the field, obviously. Travelled back with him and Cassian from Radcliffe, and got chatting to them both, and they're honestly some of the best lads you'll ever meet. If you ever get a chance to talk to them, they're always up for a chat, and he put in a really good performance. I know he was telling me at Radcliffe he's dying to get on the pitch. You know, he just wants to play football, and I think he gave Michael Clegg a really good, you know, like a dilemma, like he said, because he put in such a good shift at it was the left back spot. It was the amount of tackles he was making.
Is he a left back naturally, or is that not his preferred position?
I believe he prefers to play in midfield,
right, okay.
from what I've heard, but he did a fantastic job at left back. It was this slide tackle he was making. You know, usually someone who's not in a comfortable position will kind of just give away silly fouls. The tackles he was making, he was winning the ball every single time.
Yeah.
I think he only conceded one foul, and that was a questionable one, because he still came over the ball. But yeah, he put in a really good shift, and I praised him on the bus, and he loved it, bless him.
He is, well, his close mate, Cass.
Yeah.
He's also got a chance to be playing, whether he's on the bench or not. He will most likely be in the squad. Not really seen him shine since that Spennymoor FA Cup game where he scored. Yeah. But of course he has been one of those players that's also been on the fringes and hasn't had much of a chance to shine under Clegg. This may be his chance once more, just like a few other players. What would you say about his opportunity on Tuesday?
You can definitely see the talents there, as you said. You mentioned the FA Cup game, and I remember watching that, and he was by like quite a bit our best player. Like, the talent is there, the technical ability is definitely there. It's just if he can get that run of games going, and I'm sure he will seize the opportunity he did in the FA Cup game against good opposition. Yeah. So hopefully he can.
That would draw the close to the Atherton. Looking forward to that. The next game is a home game, the start of the 4 in a row, I believe, which is Witten on
I
Saturday?
believe so.
I'm pretty sure it's Witton at home.
Yeah.
We have the likes of Witton, Warrington, Hyde and Matlock.
No, Morpeth.
Morpeth.
On Tuesday night,
In around somewhere, but I'm pretty sure it's Witton first. That'll be your first game
Wow.
ever under Clegg.
Under Clegg, yeah.
How are you feeling for that?
Excited. I've heard good things, apparently a lot of positive performances.
Yeah.
Even the recent loss, apparently we still put a decent performance in. The fact that we were still in the game at 10 men, was it a late goal? But kind of like sealed the 3-1.
It was like a late 2 goals.
Yeah, so the fact that we were still in it, positive. Apparently playing like really well, so quite looking forward to it.
Brings back a question actually I asked in last week's where it would just have been audio. But it was the thought that whilst you've been at home, you have been keeping up to date with all of the games and stuff, and you've undoubtedly seen a change.
Yeah.
Like, do you have anything to say about what a change it's been?
Yeah, well obviously start of the season, we were very optimistic that we'd be, we'd be up there, flying high, we were supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, up there. Obviously to then drop down wasn't great. Obviously in comes Clegg for a bit of a change, and it seems like he's had not quite an instant impact, but in a way there has been a really good run of results, and also not just the results but the performances as well. His signs have been really good, he's got the place together as a community, the vibes are really good, and even the recent loss, it just feels like a speed bump, feels like a bit of a hurdle, and we will get back underway.
Yeah, I think it's even shown through, and I feel like you'll feel the same way.
Yeah.
The next time we film this, if I can remember, I'll ask you again, but I feel like you'll feel part of Clegg's plan, because he makes it his own. Like, he's so determined to make sure everyone knows that they are part of this, even the media team.
He's got a little project, doesn't he? He really does get the foundations right, and he seems to be part of that.
It's not just the players, it's everyone, even the fans, even you lot.
100%.
As you know, for the majority of you that will have come to that Q&A a couple of weeks ago, it was really good, really intimate, and I just don't see that stopping.
No.
Regardless of this little blip, I think we can put it under the rug and hopefully bounce back on Tuesday.
Fingers crossed.
Lovely show, boys.
Thank you very much.
Just before we we conclude, we'll go back to Who Am I? Do you want to remind us what those three pointers were?
Of course.
Before we
So,
give our final guess.
clue number 1. I won Young Player of the Season for Blackpool in 2011.
God, it's dismissed that one, didn't we?
Yeah.
2011, so like he's
a
a bit older now. He won't be a young player still.
Yeah. I joined Ashton in 2017 from local rivals Curzon Ashton.
Mm-hmm.
And I have as many goals as red cards this season. So, who was your guesses again?
My guess was John Pritchard, but
Yeah.
2011 was 9 years ago, and I think he's 25, so he would have been 16 maybe. So he's one hell of a young player.
Yeah.
So I might have to second think that.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I was just thinking about like Curtis O'Bain or something like that.
To be fair, was it from Curzon?
I can't remember where it came from.
Wasn't he not on loan?
Yeah.
But was that? I want to say it was like Nuneaton.
Yeah, it wasn't Curzon.
Was it Nuneaton? Yeah.
Good shout.
So.
Just trying to
Yeah,
think of
Yeah.
So like
players that
neither of us know. Probably some of you watching this are probably like, it's this guy.
so obvious, yeah.
But for us, it's one of them. Like last week, this is not when we filmed it last week. It was a completely different Who Am I. Maybe we'll whiz it up further on in the year.
Yeah.
But both times you've stumped us. Both times.
I hope I don't kick myself when he says.
Do you think we will kick us?
Yeah.
Do you happen to have another one off the top of your head that might not give it away, or would it give it away?
I feel it'd give it away if I said it. Okay.
Oh, right. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna commit. I'm gonna say Sam Sheridan.
Not bad on that.
I don't think he's been sent off this year, but I'm gonna go with it. Wait, no, actually, I sound extremely inexperienced saying that because he's scored about 4 or 5 goals. So 4 or 5 goals compared to red cards do not sound very good. You know what? I'm just not going to guess. I'm going to fold.
Alright.
Do you have anyone?
Well, no, I came up with Johnny Hunt, but
That's wrong.
yeah, we've concluded that it's wrong. If he's like Thompson, like.
I feel like he's scored more.
Yeah,
than
definitely.
So I'm feeling like the only thing I can think of is maybe he's not actually been sent off or scored.
Probably.
Would you like me just to reveal it?
Go on then.
Okay, so the third And final question wasn't a trick question.
He has actually been sent off.
Has been sent off.
Just
And then scored 1 goal. Are you ready for this?
No.
It's Liam Thompson, ladies and
Is
gentlemen.
it actually Liam Thompson?
It is.
So that was his first
It
goal
is.
against Radcliffe, was it?
Radcliffe, yeah.
Fair enough. And his first red card. But he's in the thick of it. You can tell
Exactly.
from that Who Am I, it just proves how much he has improved and how much he's got involved in everything Clegg's.
Exactly.
Lovely way to
Wow.
conclude today's show.
It's him.
Just showing how our knowledge is lacking, and we're going to have to get into the
We'll get
Ashton forums and websites, which have all been written by you. To be
Well,
fair.
yeah.
So, anyway, without further ado, we're going to stop speaking. Thanks very much for tuning in. We will see you soon.